Ooh. This is my ultimate backpack guide for travel 2020. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm in Sri Lanka. I've been here for about 2 weeks and I have about half a week left now. But before I left, I thought I would show you my backpack. So today's video is going to be what is in my backpack. What do I take on holiday with me? Also what I think fits best in a backpack for traveling and photography, videography, making content, but also just little tricks and stuff for when you're traveling abroad. I do quite a bit of traveling, so I feel like I'm pretty clued up with what sort of stuff you should need in a backpack. So yeah, let's get into it. Starting off with the bag itself, guys. This is a 4-spark backpack. So I got this just off Amazon. I think it was quite a cheap one, but the reasons that I bought it will be obvious very soon, because basically the reasons I got it is for the amazing pockets and facilities it has inside this backpack. I think this backpack cost me about £20–30. It's a pretty cheap one in the grand scheme of things, but I really like the layout of it and how it all works for me. Pretty much perfect. And you'll be able to see that I've kitted it out beautifully, so you don't need to get the same backpack as me. To be honest, you can probably get a better backpack than me, but this is my backpack for now, and it'll do the trick for now. I've never done a video like this before, and not gonna lie, I've got no idea where to start. We'll start with one of the smaller pockets at the front. So, this pocket here has two main important things. The first one is the waterproof cover for my backpack. So, if it ever rains, if I'm out and traveling, trying to take photos, and somewhere like Sri Lanka it can rain quite a lot and it can be unpredictable and it can be very heavy rain, this just goes over your backpack nice and easily and keeps everything inside dry. So that is a must-have if you're going anywhere, maybe, you know, Southeast Asia or anywhere where you know the weather might not be perfect. Get yourself a little waterproof cover and make sure your bag comes with one. Secondly, guys, the other thing I've got in this small front pocket is a little lens cleaning kit. So you will see soon that I've obviously got my camera in here. I've got a full lens cleaning kit. It's got everything I need to keep my lenses clean. One of the worst things that could happen for me would be that I go somewhere, really want to take an amazing photo. I could have climbed a mountain, for example. I open up my camera and a little bit of dust has got in the lens and I've got nothing to clean it properly with. So that's why I keep a lens kit right in the front of my backpack, front small pocket, and yeah, it's ideal really. So that's the first pocket done. Up to the top pocket on the front, and we have lens filters. I have 3 lots of filters. I've got different filters for different occasions. The main ones that I use are the ND filters, which means that if you're shooting and the sunlight's really bright outside, you put an ND filter on and it sort of acts like sunglasses for your camera lens. I went to Nusa Penida and one of the beaches was absolutely incredible, but we went in the middle of the day and the sunlight was really harsh, so it's always good to have some filters for your lens backed up in your bag, because otherwise all the photos will look so blown out, overexposed, too white, and it just wouldn't have made a good photos. Next, in this same section, the top one, we've just got some lens step-ups. So these are for the filters. What these do is they put the filter on here, and some lenses are bigger than the others, so what you can do is you can size up or down your filters, and it just steps it up, brings it down, changes the size basically of your filter and attaches it to your lens, which is awesome. Next, staying on the sort of exterior of the backpack for now, we'll go to the side pocket. This is pretty straightforward. Everyone's got their own separate things in here. I normally put a bottle of water in here, obviously when I'm going around the place, but also I use it for essentials that I use quite a bit. So at the moment we've got some bug spray because of where I am. I've also got some sun cream, and I've also got a band, like a TheraBand, which I actually used on the plane. That's why it's still in there, but you never know when you could use a band. Organise it a bit nicer for you. There we go. And finally, one other thing that I've got in here is just a plastic bag. So you never know when, I don't know, you could go for a swim or something, clothes could get wet, you might not want them to go in your bag, so bring a plastic bag. But as I said, yeah, you know, these are all important for where I'm at the moment. Bug spray you might not need if you go to somewhere like Europe or somewhere cold, but you definitely need it in places like Sri Lanka for the mosquitoes. Now we're getting into the bulk of it. So first thing I'm going to do is open up this side pocket. Now be prepared for some cool stuff here. Out of the side of this bag slides my camera. And the bottom section of my backpack is where my camera goes. I've shown you guys the camera that I've got before, but I'll show you briefly again. I've got the Canon EOS R, really great camera that works really well for me personally. I've got the 50mm lens on it at the moment, and I've also got with me the 17 to 40mm lens as well. So I've got two sort of lenses for different work. Obviously the 17 to 40 is adjustable, so I can get some wider stuff, or if I'm going for portraits, I use this bad boy. It's not too big, it's not too heavy, and it fits perfectly inside of my little foam pouch. I put it away nice and gently. Having it inside some sort of protective casing like this really means that it's not going to go anywhere. And as you can see, that space there is for my other lens. That's where that slots in. So that is what goes underneath my bag, which means I can't drop it. I have to be super careful, but it means that wherever I go, I can take my photos and people can't see that I've got a camera. It doesn't look like a camera backpack, but yeah, there's a camera hidden inside of there, which I think is pretty cool. And finally, we're going into the big section, which is the main part of the backpack. And this might take a while. So we're full to the brim, but what I'll do, put down on the side and get things out one at a time. So I want to try and show you how nicely packed everything is. Everything is nice and flatly laid out. You can see as I open it here, there's a lot of goodies in there. So let's get started. First thing to come out is a very basic first aid kit. So wherever you travel, I think you should always have some sort of first aid kit with you, because I think you'd be silly not to. This one's just got some tape, some plasters, bits and bobs like that. Always beneficial to have when you're traveling, and making sure that it's with you at all times, because you never know what could happen. Next, guys, we have a basic coin pouch. So this coin pouch is actually my brother's, but obviously we're here together, so I'm using his coin pouch. I keep my money in a nice little pouch, basically, keep it nice and safe. Make sure it's in the top of my backpack so I can easily use it when I'm paying for tuk-tuks or for food. I love how nicely packed that is. Can you see that? Look at that. That's neat right there, for me especially. And next, it's a bit of a hint to what else we've got inside the bag. It's just a little box full of extra pieces of electronics. So in here, I've got extra propellers for my drone and other bits and bobs. So nice little cardboard box full of that. So that is for my drone. So I have let me try and show you guys. I have the DJI Mavic Mini. Obviously comes out nice and straightforward like so. But the reason I chose this one, guys, is because it is tiny. I think it weighs, is it 267 grams or 249 grams, which is absolutely nothing for a drone. Absolutely amazing. And as you saw, it packs away really nicely. So it's nice and small. It's pretty much like the size of a phone, maybe the width of about 2 or 3 phones, but the weight of half a phone, or 1 phone probably. Anyway, it's light, that's the whole point. So I keep that with me when I'm traveling. If I want to try and take some nice drone shots, I've got it at hand all the time. Super small, super handy, literally goes inside of my pocket. That's how small this guy is. Next to that, we have got my Scross power adapter. So this plug here has every single power port you could think of, and I think it goes into every single plug in the world, so that's why I got it. Really straightforward. You slide one up and plug comes out. You plug yours in the back, it goes in. Good thing about this one as well is it's a double charge, so we've got a USB port there as well as the actual plugs on the back, so I can charge 2 things at once on here, which is awesome, and wherever I go in the world I can take this with me. The reason why I got a slightly more expensive charger is that it can do the fast charging stuff. It's not cheap, it's very reliable, and also with the cheap little adapters I have to buy different ones for different countries, and I always end up forgetting them and leaving them places and never packing them. So I spent a bit of money on this, and the idea is that because it's a little bit more expensive, it's more important to me, so I take it everywhere with me. I don't have to think about plugs, I've got it sorted every single time. Packed into the side, just a little one, tissues. So this might sound a bit stupid, but I always make sure I've got some sort of tissues with me, because you can obviously blow your nose with it, you can wipe your hands with it, but more importantly, if you're traveling out and about, you might need to go to the toilet, and there might not be a great toilet where you're traveling. If you're traveling in somewhere like Asia, you may struggle to find a good toilet. You're most likely going to struggle to find toilet roll. So tissues, really straightforward, nice little packet, easy, ultra soft, obviously. Underneath the drone is, of course, the drone's controller. Once again, I'll show you the size of it. It's tiny. There you go. So once again, probably just about the size of a few phones, but size of a phone, maybe the width of 2 phones, perfect. Those two are basically the same size, as you can tell there. So they just go one on top of each other in my bag. Really, really easy, really convenient, really small, and produce amazing results for the price. Also, of course, it's my first ever drone, so I didn't want to spend much money. I wanted to get a smaller, cheaper one, and one that's smaller, so I'm allowed to fly it in more places without getting told off by the authorities. So yeah, that's why I got the DJI Mavic Mini drone. Honestly, great buy, I really love it. Next, along the corner, this is another strange one for you people that might not think about this, but I do, because I've traveled so much. I've had a lot of experiences, so I'm always prepared. So that right there is Imodium. You know what that stuff does, I don't need to explain it. Basically, if you travel to places in Asia, you may have heard of things like Bali belly or Delhi belly or anything like that, and lots of food poisoning issues because our stomachs aren't used to it. I carry Imodium with me everywhere I go when I'm traveling, because sometimes I'm out for 2 or 3 days at a time, and if something catches you off guard and your stomach doesn't agree, it can be a horrible experience, especially if you're in a long bus journey or coach journey or train journey with other people. It's really, really, really not fun, and it can put you off the rest of the trip and the rest of your days shooting or whatever you're doing. So I always make sure that I bring some Imodium with me. These ones dissolve on your tongue, so you don't even need water for them. Just take them with you because you might as well. Next is my Wonder Boom. So this is Wonder Boom 2 by Ultimate Ears. Look how beautiful that looks, eh? So this comes with me everywhere as well. It's got a really good battery life, and it is basically invincible. You can drop this and it will be okay. I've had it thrown in the water a few times and it just floats around and it's absolutely fine. Basically, I use this for if I'm with some friends shooting somewhere. Let's say we've gone to somewhere, I don't know, say we found a beautiful location and it's nice and quiet, and my friend is modeling and I'm taking the photos, or the other way around. We can use this and get some tunes going at the same time. Creates an atmosphere, makes people feel more comfortable sometimes. For the size of it, you might as well take it with you. It's probably like just about bigger than an apple, like a big apple, but awesome to take with you everywhere. Invincible, good for music. I use it when I'm training in the gym as well, so that's why it's in my backpack. So we're coming close to the end, but we're not done just yet. Next piece is my power bank. The reason I chose this power bank is quite simple. It's a solar powered power bank. So it's got 4 solar charging panels. So whenever I'm out, what I can do is hook this on to my carabiner on the front of my bag, and it can hang off like so, and I can get battery charge whilst I'm out and about just walking. And it takes a long time for this thing to charge up, but if you're out spending 3 or 4 hours at a time out in the sun, it's such an easy way. It's charging right now actually, just because of the sunlight from there. Yeah, if you take this with you everywhere, you will get a little bit of extra battery. You know, it's probably about half of the power bank that. You know, it's like an extra 50% of the power bank, or if that. So for that, you might as well take it with you. You can hook it onto your backpack, as I said, leave it out. When you're out and about, you'll get extra battery. This thing lasts forever. It can charge my phone over and over and over again. And as well, it can charge my speaker, and it can also charge my drone. So that's why I take this with me. It's got so much battery, fantastic thing to have with you. If you don't take a power bank with you when you're traveling, you really need to start to, because they're amazing things. Just plug it in overnight when you're on holiday, and it can last you for the full trip, and you'll never be caught off guard without any phone battery to call your tuk-tuk or your taxi or your friend or your lift or anything like that. If anything happens, you've got some power. Alright, now we're getting to the pockets. So, first pocket is pretty straightforward. I can probably just pull them all out at the same time. They look messy, but they're not normally messy. Charging cables. So this is for the phone. This is a micro USB. This charges my speaker and my drone. So once again, speaking about the power bank, here are my charging cables. They fit nicely inside of that pocket. In the smaller pocket next to it, we have SD cards. So there's a few of them going on in here. There is a space actually on my backpack in the mesh section here, like so. But I feel like if I've got this open, they might fall out, so I keep them zipped up in the top because I find it way better. And my last piece of equipment with its accessory would firstly be my pen. So this is an what's it called, an iPen? This is my iPencil. So this is what I use for my iPad. I use it when I'm editing photos, but it's a really good thing to have. Once again, it's tiny and it fits so easily inside that mesh pocket. Speaking of extra things you can have in your mesh pocket, I forgot one very important thing which you will see why I have in a minute. So firstly, this is an Anchor card reader. So what I use this for is reading my micro SD cards and my memory cards. Now this only attaches to a USB, so for the next thing I have to use my adapter. So this is a Polaroid? Yeah, this is a Polaroid adapter, USB to USB Type-C. Fits in there like so. I stick my memory card in the top, and from there I attach this to the final thing in my backpack. Is what this attaches to. My iPad Pro. My iPad Pro is what I use to take all of my images from my camera and my drone and my vlogging camera, which is this one, my images on. So I stick this into the bottom with the memory card. Really straightforward, and I can just download everything onto here. It's 1 terabyte worth of space, and what I do at the end of every day is just go through and delete it all, because by then I've airdropped everything on here to my MacBook, which I don't bring with me. This is a lot easier when I'm out and about and I just really quickly want to transfer stuff onto here. Super slim, fits in the back of my backpack perfectly well. Yeah, this is a really good buy. I am so glad I bought this because it's made my photography so much easier. I like editing my photos on iPad as well, so when I take my photos on my camera, put them straight onto here, it takes seconds, and I can use Lightroom and everything on here. Using my Apple iPencil, I can edit everything to precision and make sure it's all perfect. The final compartment is just one behind the actual straps. Really thin, really slim, and that is where my bank cards go. So at the moment it's got receipts in there, it's got my ID, and as I said then, has it got my ID? They are things that I might need last minute, but I don't want anyone to know about. I don't really want to think about, so I pop my receipts in there. Any sort of UK money when I'm traveling, I put in there. And sometimes my passport as well when I'm out and about. Other times I'll leave that locked up in a safe in the room in the hotel or villa, depending on what I'm doing. Carabiner, I always have a carabiner attached. Just a really basic carabiner right here. All I do with this is attach whatever I want onto the side of my backpack. And then once I'm wearing my backpack, all it does is just hang down the side. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Wonder if anyone knows that reference. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a dog next to me. So another thing I put in the side of my bag as well, thought I'd just add this in. I'm a bit of a weirdo, so I've always got my antibacterial hand gel. So yeah, this hand gel is just from Waitrose, really straightforward, antibacterial. I always put this on before I eat and stuff like that.
Steering, can die for